I think so. That's fine. Yeah. Who needs to start it?
We are live.
Oh, we are live. Hello. Good morning, afternoon, evening, not sure, whatever time it is for you joining. I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off today because I know that our main presenter, Yamil, has a lot of really great content. And I know that she's really excited to present to you today. So my name is Caitlin Thomas. I'm from Arcus. We are a Salesforce implementation partner, and we do focus in the nonprofit space. That's my personal background. Also, I like to note that I was born and raised in a nonprofit family, actually, with a social worker mom and a nonprofit healthcare physician dad. So it's kind of been part of my whole life, and was a case manager and a fundraiser, and for the last 11 years have been working with nonprofits to help them onboard with Salesforce successfully. So certainly, a good place for me to be today and yesterday with nonprofit Dreamin. So thanks for having us. Arcus is sponsoring this event, of course. I'm really excited to have had the opportunity and to be a part of this. So we have some presenters, some hosts, all that kind of stuff. So just a little bit about who we are at Arcus. We're a small but mighty team of about 30 folks, and we love certifications. I bet a lot of you on the line love certifications. And we've been around for about 10 years. We had our 10-year Arciversary in the fall. We really nerd out with the Arcus thing. So, and it's really all about the client work, right? So it's all about what our clients say. We're very proud of our roughly 4.9 out of 5-star App Exchange review status. It's been that way for 10 years running, over about 1,500 projects. Again, vast majority of those in the nonprofit space. So really that's what we wake up every day to do, is do great work with nonprofits, right? And support events like this. Gosh, we love certifications. Even on the sales team, I'm a director of sales and got to have those certs, right? Got to know what you're talking about. So definitely invested in the nonprofit side. But we also do specialize in financial services and other commercial areas. And that helps with nonprofits that might have non-traditional use cases, right? So we tend to do really well with those hybrid nonprofits in addition to traditional use cases. These are the certifications that we have. You all might have some of these. Nonprofit Cloud is definitely one of those that's top of the list for us here. We are a lean and agile shop. We find that works really well with nonprofits. If you're not familiar with Agile, with Salesforce Agile or any Agile project methodology, look it up, Google it, reach out to me. I'll put my contact information. Lean and Agile really just means that you're able to work, again, in a more lean capacity, maybe with 1 or 2 people, as opposed to a group, team, or army of consultants that you're paying not 1 or 2 hourly rates to get the work done, but maybe 5, maybe 6. And that can really blow up the cost and the timeline of a project. And that's not always suitable or the best fit for certain nonprofit clients, right? So we sort of broke the mold with this 10 years ago, and we've been running strong with it ever since. So if anyone wants to talk about Lean and Agile or wants to learn more about what that might mean for you as a Salesforce consultant in any kind of capacity or as a nonprofit organization, I could talk about it all day, but I won't. I'll keep it limited. We do everything from training, enablement, implementation. We have a team of 10 developers, everything under the sun, right, when it comes to Salesforce. I could go on and on about how I love Arcus. I even wear the vest. I'm an Archie. I'm a very proud Archie. We are hiring. We're hiring project managers in 2021. Reach out to me. Go to arcus.com/careers if you want to learn more about that. We are really looking for passionate, motivated, nonprofit-focused individuals, no matter where you are in your Salesforce career. A lot of our PMs are actually former Salesforce admins for nonprofits, I should say. We also have a newsletter. Our marketing person, Catherine's on the line. Catherine, I'm doing it. I told you I would. Subscribe. She's going to put a link in the chat. That's all I have. Yamil's really going to cover the good stuff. So thanks for giving me some time today. We're one nonprofit focused partner out there. There are a lot of them. If you want to talk to me about anything under the sun, Salesforce nonprofits, I will follow up to make sure, and I'll put a link to reach out to me through LinkedIn. Okay, so thanks everybody. Enjoy Yamil's content. Yamil, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So just give me 1 second as I share my screen.
I had to stop sharing mine first, so there you go.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Welcome everyone. My name is Yamile Pacheco Cueva. I work at Pencil in New York City, and I will be presenting to you about exception dashboards, which I find, and I'm sure you will find, that are the key for data that your users can trust. So before we get into that, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for this event. And a little bit about my background. I am the database administrator at Pencil. We are a New York City-based nonprofit that makes it easy for business professionals, educators, students to work together in schools and at the workplace. We offer hands-on programs, including school partnerships, mentoring, internships, and immersive experiences like Principal for a Day. And these create targeted opportunities to make a real difference in the classroom and beyond. I started at Pencil about 7 years ago as an intern, and mostly focused with data entry. As we transitioned to Salesforce, I became then an accidental admin, and I'm sure some of you started with Salesforce that way. And since then, I've become certified as an administrator in a platform app builder. I would also want to know about you, and there is a poll right next to the chat about your Salesforce experience. Are you just exploring Salesforce for your business? Are you a business user, more focused on the day-to-day administration? Are you a new admin trying to figure out the setup and configuration of Salesforce? Or have you been an admin for a year or more? Let us know on the poll. I will give you a few minutes. It should be under the event. Wow, a lot of experienced admins, more than 1 year. We have some new admins and business users. And they keep coming. Welcome also to those that are exploring Salesforce. I'm sure this will be really helpful for you as well. Okay, so what are exception dashboards? As the name suggests, it shows the exception to the rule. It tells us what is missing, where have things fall through the cracks, and where do we need to work on so that all of our data is up to date. Different from the regular dashboards where we usually have a high number goal. This dashboard, we just want it to get to 0. As long as we have no missing data, that means that our org is in good shape. And why does it matter? First of all, data quality assurance. We want users to trust the data that is in Salesforce. This is particularly important when we have migrated from another database or Excel sheets to Salesforce. They are used to a different type of environment, and now that they're trying to get used to Salesforce, the last thing we want them is to feel that the data there, they cannot trust it. And realistically, a lot of things do fall through the cracks through migration. We do a lot of copy and pasting, cleaning up, but once it's in Salesforce, then we're starting to see where our data needed some work because it wasn't in the more 360 view that Salesforce is able to offer us. And that is why it's important. The cleaner our data, the greater the adoption. The other thing is exception dashboards help us see what relationships we missed. For example, Salesforce is really great at helping us create reports with. We have contacts with opportunities. We have accounts with contacts. But what about the accounts that don't have contacts? Can we create a report that way? And can we show in a dashboard where our accounts are missing contacts? And that is what a dashboard, an exception dashboard is going to help us see. How do we create these exception dashboards? First of all, we need to review our data. And this can come in different ways. We may receive feedback about what is missing. We may be working through Salesforce in our day-to-day and feel and see that some things are out of place or missing. Or we can run reports that help us see where there are fields that are not complete, things that we created a while ago, and now we need to review the importance of that field or that type of data. After that, we create reports that will focus mainly on blank values or cross filters, and we will get more into that. Then we're going to group them in a dashboard, and that is going to be our center for data quality. Once one of those components in a dashboard is not 0, we know that we need to tackle that, and we're always going to be on top of our data in that way. One helpful way of remembering to review this dashboard is by subscribing to it. So that's also part of this presentation. So let's get to our demo, the good part. So here I have my dashboard. And as you can see, I started to create some values based on the feedback that I started to receive. Here I have a component for the dashboard that is anonymous households. I received feedback that some of the households were anonymous and there was no information in them. Should they be in our database? So I created an exception dashboard that would show me what dashboards were anonymous, and then I added it here. That way, in the future, when a contact is merged, someone creates a household by mistake, then I am on top of it, and there are always going to be 0 anonymous households. As we fix those, then our data is going to come out here for 0. The other way that we can create these dashboards is where we don't know where to start. We know that there is data that's out of place, but we don't know where to start. This is where the tool called Filtrip in the App Exchange comes into place. This is a free tool, which for nonprofits, it's amazing, and it had very good reviews. I heard about it in a lot of sessions at the World Tour or at Dreamforce, and it is a tool that helps you see where there's missing data. So I already installed it in my org, and this is what it looks like. I have my Filtrip tab, and I create a Filtrip. I just name it as type of data that I'm looking for, and then it just prompts you to select what is the API name of the object. And save and analyze. And it usually will take, depending on the size of your object or of the records in your object, they may take longer to complete. But I am going to just focus right now on the opportunities field trip that I ran, because I want to see the shape of the fields in my opportunities. I'm going to the analysis. And of course, there's always fields that are going to be 100% populated. And that is what I like to see. It tells me what the field is and whether they're populated. Especially formula fields are always going to be populated. I'm going to expand this view. Now I'm going to keep scrolling until I see that there are fields that are not completely populated. I am going to focus right now on the primary contact. And we want to start adding primary contacts to our records, especially opportunities that are open. And we want to start a culture of inputting that information in Salesforce. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a report. And then I'm going to just write opportunities. I'm going to continue. And just quick and easy, I am going to just expand my filters and create a blank filter for primary contact. I'm going to say primary contact. Just one more time, primary contact equals blank. And this is where we start with our blank values. Now I know that there could be blank values because this is not a required field. And it's not required because if we already close lost, we do not need it. So I am just going to add the particular criteria that for my organization, this wouldn't be required. And this is where you start evaluating what is needed for your organization. And I'm going to say that if it's not close lost, I want all the primary contacts to start being populated. And in my dashboard, I am going to see whether that is happening or not. I am going to group just by one value so I can create that summary component in my dashboard. I am going to save and run. And I'm just going to give it a name. Missing primary contact. And save. Skip a couple of minutes to run. So right here, now that we have our save report, I am going to click on this arrow right next to the edit. And then I'm going to add it to a dashboard. And then I'm going to say, I want this in my exceptions dashboard. I'm going to add. And I'm just going to edit the component. I want this to be a full number. And then at the footer, because I work with other people that may also be looking at this dashboard, I am going to add a note on the footer so other people working on this dashboard also see that this needs work. Without primary contact. I am going to add, and now I have one more component to review for my organization. Now, what if we're also looking at information that is not there? For example, what if there is just no contact roles? And this is particularly important when we want to email donors, and some opportunities may have contact roles related to them, but some opportunities may not. This is where the cross filter works. I am going to go back to my reports, and I'm going to create a new report. And now I am looking for opportunities without contact roles. opportunities. So if you see here, there's opportunities and opportunities with contact roles. I do not want this because it's only going to give me opportunities that already have a record there as a child, as a contact role. I'm just going to click on opportunities and continue. And then in my filters, I am going to expand and say, right here in the filters, there is a button, and it hides one of the most powerful tools for reporting, the cross filter. So you're going to click on that arrow and add cross filter. Now I have an option here. I want my opportunities, but I don't want them with contact roles. I want them without the contact roles. And now select what is the child record that is missing. And I click on contact roles and I apply it. And now this is only going to show me opportunities without contact roles. I'm just going to group this by one value, again, just so we can have a summary for the component in the dashboard. I am going to save and run. And give it a name. Missing contact roles. Save. Just give it a few seconds as it loads. Then I already saved my record. Then I'm going to add it to my dashboard. Under Edit, click on Add to Dashboard. And Exception Dashboard. I'm going to add my component. Just give it some details right here. And then you can color code this however you want. And I'm just going to add my note again, opportunities that need to have a contact role. I'm going to add my component. That way, for the next mailing report that we create for our development team, there's no one missing, because as soon as we add all these contact roles, this component is going to be 0. And that way, everybody is going to show up in the opportunities with contact roles reports. I'm going to save. And done. So these are the 3 ways that you can review your data. 1, through feedback, just like the anonymous households. 2, through the field trip that is going to highlight what fields are blank and need attention. And through cross filters, what records are missing, particular child records that should be there. The other thing is subscribing to this dashboard. If you subscribe, then periodically you will receive this dashboard, and that way it's in your inbox and you can always see what is missing. Do we have any questions? Let me take a look at the chat.
So there is a question. Hello?
Yes.
There's a question by Laura. So it is about, do you keep these exception reports in a specific folder or just in the normal folders?
You can keep these. I particularly have my own data management folder, and it's private to me and the people that are helping me with updating this data. Then once it is in your folders, then you can create the dashboard, and the dashboard can be saved as wherever you need it to be. But it could be visible to everybody. I actually create exception dashboards for managers that need to review particular data as well for their teams. So it could work for business users or admins. Any other questions?
So in case anyone has questions about how whether this data will be available, whether the session recording will be available, yes, it will be available over the YouTube channel. So post event, and we'll be sharing it across. If there is any other questions, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put on.
And thank you everyone for joining.
Okay, I think there is a question by Emily.
I see your question.
Yeah. In your experience, when finding the missing data, is it up to you to fix, or are you able to delegate? It seems like fixing it would take a great deal of work.
At different stages, it has been me doing the data cleanup. Sometimes it is an intern or someone in the organization also helping me with a data cleanup project or a quality health check. Or as well, the users themselves. As I mentioned, some managers have their own exception dashboards, and that way they can review particular data entry that may be living in an Excel. For the user may just have it in Excel, and they just need to transfer to Salesforce. So the users also can have can work on that data as soon as the manager sees it, they can just flag it and say, can this be updated in Salesforce? They see that it comes to 0, and then the data is ready.
Great. Also, there is one more question by Monique. She's asking, do you ever use SOQL commands in field trip?
I have not used SOQL commands in field trip. I would like to look into it.
So I think that wraps up the session. Thank you so much, Yamil, for taking time, and this was a nice presentation. You called it exception dashboards. I would say exceptional dashboards. The key to data your users can trust. This is for everyone. After the session, please click on the reception button on the left top of the screen to return to the main area. You also have 7 Salesforce data fields. You need to build your donor base starting in 5 minutes in the stage area. So you can go back to the stages, or on the reception, you'll find different sessions which you can select from.
Thank you, everyone.
Amazing first ever presentation on Salesforce, or not on Salesforce, but at a Salesforce related event. Yamil, excellent work.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
I'm stopping the broadcast. Thank you everyone for joining.